Let's talk about that elderly aging demographic who are being targeted for the assets that they have, in most cases that have been paid off or almost paid off, and they're sitting on the wealth of their real estate. In a related episode on our podcast, The Real Tea, you'll hear from a client and her personal experience for her mother in a reverse mortgage. Oftentimes, it is the cost of the property tax that is a disadvantage for our elderly because when they are retired, they've paid off their mortgages, and now they're burdened with this lump sum that's due once or twice a year. Paying for the schools, the levies, the roads, and all of these things that are the community benefits that they've been paying for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And sure, homestead exemption gives them some exemption for their property value, but property values have increased leaps and bounds, and that means it has been a burden of a charge for our elderly. As a result of that, many are being forced to make decisions about routine expenses, groceries, medical, life. Whether or not the individual chooses to do a reverse mortgage, the matter of property tax still becomes an issue for an elderly, aging in place person. Someone who is living on a fixed income suddenly may be faced with making a higher than expected property tax payment, either as a lump sum for the year or over monthly payments. But just the change of $50 or $100 or more on a fixed income is a substantial hit for many. So I'm glad to know that we're going to bring in our county treasurer and have a discussion with him. But until that time, I'm getting asked by our consumers, by people in the community, what can I do about my property tax? It is too high. It's unreasonable. I can't afford this. And when I get asked those questions, I want to do all that I can to assist that person. One, to know what is the answers. Is there a potential dispute that could be filed on their behalf by them in assistance with me if necessary, whatever. It's a matter of providing the information that they know that they have something that can benefit them, something that can help give them a resolution. So while the county auditor only allows for a dispute process from January to March of a given year, that is then later heard in June, July, August, and then potentially, if it is accepted, then is not a resolution until the next year. So at the very least, you have a full year that you're going to have to figure out, how do I pay for the higher property taxes? What do I do? And I don't want to see where someone's forced to make a knee-jerk reaction because they don't know what their options are. So yes, reverse mortgage may come out as a benefit, something to look into. Please listen to our podcast and learn and know and ask the questions ahead of time before you make a decision. As well, have that communication with our auditor's office. Surprisingly, they do communicate with us when we call. Not surprisingly, they will have a conversation with you. They will let you know what can be done. If you have a mortgage and your property taxes are being escrowed as part of your payment, you've got yet the bank to also deal with as part of that discussion. So having somebody who may be able to come in and say, let's buckle down, see what we have going on, and realize what are the possible roads to finding a resolution is really important. There are current House bills that are being discussed, reviewed, analyzed, debated, whatever you want to say. There are 5, actually, House bills in at the Ohio Capitol, at the There are currently 5 House bills that are being discussed on the matter of property taxes. This is how important this issue is, and I cannot wait to dive in a little deeper with our treasurer, who's just one county person, but will absolutely give us a perspective that may assist us in knowing what actions you as individuals can take that we as professionals can help guide you to, and certainly to be the resource of where you can go to get that answer on your property tax bill. We can and should be doing better for our seniors instead of setting them up for a perfect crime against a demographic.